Good evening, wherever you're tuning from. This is another edition of Primero's Talk. On today's edition, we're going to be discussing a key issue that have played a major role and is playing a major role in our daily corners of our house and everywhere. Today, we are joined also by an amazing guest, a brother and friend, a student here in India. And as the topic proposed, diaspora investment and its impact back home, Liberia perspective. We use Liberia perspective because there are so many diaspora countries around the world. So we are talking from Liberia perspective. On the set today, we have panelist Josiah Vanisano. We also have Yadini Cherish Williams, and then we also have as our guest Gajo Dobogagad. Yadini Cherish Williams is a Liberian student studying in India, and Josiah Vanisano is a Liberian student as well, studying in India. Sorry, William studying in Rwanda, no, not India. Yeah. And our guest is also from India. Myself, I'm from India. So thank you for tuning in. We are all Liberian, and the topic is very brilliant. From a location, the weather is pretty cool. Things here have calm, and we're having it as we should. And while we wait for the host, the panelists, and our guest, we'll just here bring you through some few updates on the Liberian student community here in India. So the Association of Liberian Students had a mini convention. The program was yesterday, and then the sporting activity was Friday, and everything went well. I was there. As part of that, I'm co-chair on the media team, IMC, Information Media Committee, and I was wearing my bag, all well dressed up, capturing moments, both photos and videos. The event was attended by the president of the Association of Liberian Students in India, Her Excellency Madam Jocelyn B.C. Tume, and then also attended by the Speaker of the Full House of Parliament, Honorable Jackson Jizu, Secretary General of the Association of Liberian Students in India, also the Superintendent of the Liberian Students in Punjab, and also the President for the Greater Noida chapter, and also the Superintendent for the Greater Noida chapter, and other key members of the governing body, student affairs, Those who are into sporting activities were also present, and there were also patrons and chief patrons of that event that was present. So the program was nice, short and sweet. And normally, as everyone is aware, that event as such gave huge exposure to the student community with leverage, making sure that things do go the right way, and also helping in capacity building, sponsoring students from different fields, and also partnering with different organizations that help promote student welfare here in India. So the program was okay. And on the 11th of April, there are also going to be another summit. That is the Tri Future Summit. That is the 3.0. The first one happened in 2023, sorry, 2024. And the second happened in 2025. And the third one happened in, or happening, or to happen in this year on the 11th of April. So we're encouraging our students, those who are into the business cycle or different industry, to seek such opportunity and make sure that they grab the very best out of it. Yes. But Punjab is calm. I guess all of the other states where students are present in, they're also calm. There are also series of activities coming up, ranging from football. There are also this tournament of Who Own Punjab is coming up, and different universities here in Punjab has joined to be a part. Alaska Pay, thank you for following. Said, watching from Mount Barkley, Christian community. Okay. If you're following, just let us know where you're following from. Again, we await our team to join us shortly. Cherish Yadini Williams, Josiah Vani Sando, and our guest. They may get plenty profile. When we reach out to the men who come on the set, the may just make it short for us. That was the shortest, um, what should I say? Profile that I've ever come across. It was very, very short. So when we reached out to Mr. Gawad, I said, send me your profile. He made laugh. He just said, very short. That's a one line sentence. I was like, wow. I've been receiving different profiles, but this profile is the shortest thus far. But our guest is in studio already, so we're just waiting on Mr. Williams and Mr. Sando so that we start this session. In the meantime, again, I'll provide you update from here in India, Punjab State. Educational activities going on. Universities, both MST, some of them are still carrying MSTs, and also there are a lot of soccer activities going on. The Aussie convention happened on the 28th and 27th, which was yesterday and Friday. It was attended by well-meaning Liberians from different states, and the activities were football and basketball, as well as the convention itself, indoor program, and the ball, which happened yesterday night. The program was attended by top-notch officials of government in Aussie cycle, ranging from the Speaker of the full House of Parliament, Deputy Speaker, representatives, superintendents, the President of the Greater Noida Aussie chapter, auxiliary groups, as well as student body. But again, the show today is not about Aussie. I'm just providing you few updates when it comes to the student community here in India. Yes. We got an intel on um, stuff that happened with two country nationalities. But again, we can't disclose because somebody can cut my clip and carry and go do content creation with it. So we are still fast tracking the information. But again, Labrador in surface. Yeah, the country always represents. But sometimes it becomes the bad way. Yeah, that's a very unfortunate situation. But again, we can't release it to the public, so we're still analyzing it in the back. But it's a bad one. Again, Labrador name surface. If you're following, just tell where you're following from in the comment section. Please, we do love to hear from you. Okay. So just drop your location in the comment section where you're following from. The topic today on the question is the diaspora investment is impact back home. So we'll be talking from the Liberia perspective. Yes. We're joined by a colleague and friend, Godric Double Gagar, the Liberian student here in India, and we'll be discussing about the diaspora investment. So Gagar have a lot to say. He have researched the topic very well, and he's ready to make his contribution as it relates to the topic. Mr. Gaga, how are you, sir? Can you hear me?
Yeah, right. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're well audible. Thank you again for honoring the invite. And the host is having a quite unfortunate situation. Sorry to our audience and also sorry to our guests. He's not getting a stable internet in Rwanda at the moment. He's facing some glitches, so he asked that I proxy in for him. Yeah, and I'm also excited again to be with you on on set on this platform. I can remember when you make your first appearance here. That was back in 2023. Yes, when I was, I think the host. I can't recall. I was the host. I was a panelist on the show, but we were four on the set that day. We had to talk about medicine. Yeah, I wasn't the host. Yes, I can remember now. I wasn't the host that day. I was just a panelist on the set. We were talking about medicine, and you had a very good idea when it comes to that space, and also you are from the science side. Part of that, Mr. Gaga is also into tech as well. It will surprise you guys when you see in the lab coat using the apparatus to do different things. And at the end of the day, when you see the man again doing the tech thing again, I asked him, I said, I sent you a voice recording. Let me just tell you guys. I was like, Chief, I felt that you are just into science. What bring you into IT again? And man say, hey, this guy. But Mr. Gaga is happy to hear from you again. Greet our people, and then we can get right into it. Time is our greatest enemy. We can have all the luxury of time. Yeah, so just greet our people, then we can get right into it.
All right. Thank you for the invite. I greatly appreciate. And I'm privileged to be here. I think it's a great honor to join you and share my little knowledge on diaspora investments when it comes to Liberia perspective. So uh, I don't know much, just just little. Yeah, but I'm I'm hoping to have a fruitful conversation and interact with the audience, and then probably I think we all have some common goals, so that at least one way or the other we may have something achieved from the night's discussion as well. So yeah, thank you very much.
We also want to applaud you for taking up the time and being here with us. It's a lot, and we want to applaud you, yeah, for accepting our invite. Yes. So let's look into the topic, right? Without further ado, let's look into the topic. The diaspora investment is impact back home. Yes. From the topic perspective, what do you make out of
Uh, I don't know whether we have started now.
it?
Yeah, but diaspora investment, I think it's it's like uh it's like when you're a little boy trying to scout the entire sea. It's very large,
Okay.
right? But again, what
Yes.
helps us is the fact that it is limited to Liberia's perspective. Because we are Liberians, we cannot be discussing about the United States of America at this point.
Yes.
Yeah, but in simple terms, I think what really encompasses all of the topics, all of the shirks about diaspora investment is the fact that students, people, nationals of Liberia that are studying, living, and working abroad, they have a part to play within a Liberian economy, regardless of your status politically, your status civilly, and all of the other things that plays around that. And we know that in society is built by the many little different contributions from every single part of the world. Whether you're a family man, you're a businessman, whether it's your food, whether it's your water, whether you are an academician, I think every single role that or every single thing that we do in life contributes to society. And we have to envision this particular sort of um, all of our roles. We have to envision it in a way that it does not only contribute to our self-satisfaction, but it also contributes to our goals holistically and developmentally. And once people hear about holistically, they think that probably you are referring to something about politics. It's not all about politics at this time, right? So in a whole, we are saying that the little decisions that you make, the little actions that you take, how they affect the global outcome or the entire outcome. And whether you are a single person, whether you are a family person, you have someone attached to you, and that person has another person attached to them. It's like the chain of the family rule, right? So whatever you are doing, wherever you go in life, every single action you take, it does not only affect you, but it also affects all other persons. So in a particular nutshell, whether you are Liberian, you cannot isolate or you cannot un-Liberian yourself. I think someone has said has used this jargon before. You cannot un-Liberian yourself. You cannot um you cannot really negate yourself from your roots, right? You cannot in molecular biology we say that you will not omit or omit your DNA codes that make you an African that make you unique as a
Yeah.
Liberian. So
Mhm.
there are a lot to be said, but let me not eat all of the time on just the hint about it.
Okay, great. So one may ask, all right? That was the first question that I should have asked before the one. So
Mm,
since we discussed about the topic, what the topic says, so now one may ask,
mhm,
the Liberia diaspora, who they are?
mhm.
Yeah, the Liberian diaspora, who they are? If I'm to ask Mr.
Uh,
Gaga.
yeah, but it's pretty simple. The Liberian thing is not. Oh, sorry, I thought I had an error right here. All right. The Liberian diaspora, they refer to people that are living, working, and residing outside Liberia, right?
Okay.
And the reason I'm using this context, this is not denotative, right? It's not like a college definition of diaspora. Probably someone expected me to be defining the root word, all of these things now. But connotatively, you understand that people who are living outside residing and working, or you will also say studying outside of Liberia, they make up the Liberian diaspora. And I really think that the Liberian diaspora is contributing massively to the Liberian economy, especially when it comes to family roots, right? Most of the people in Liberia there that have someone to look up to outside Liberia, they are really up like probably 70% depending on that person for certain outcomes like that. And whether directly or indirectly, these people put together all of their resources, all of their investment, they directly or they indirectly support the Liberian economy. So whether Africa, Asia, the United States, Europe, or any part of the world, it is important to know that even if you are residing in Guinea, or you are residing in Sierra Leone, or you are residing in Africa, you are part of the diasporan community, and your life, your success, your outcomes, they all matter not just for you, but for the people who look up to you as well. I have to make that kind of description of the Liberian diaspora in a way to frame our discussion so that we don't become too diplomatic and start to discuss
Yeah,
big
definitely.
things.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one may ask, I think I had a conversation with a friend quite some time now, to admit, Mr. Garrard.
Hmm.
And I can't what I told them was I think me and another person had that same perspective that once you're a Liberian residing in Sierra Leone, Guinea, the Ivory Coast, Nigeria, from that region, all right,
Hmm.
we categorize you to be in a region, not in a
Hmm.
diaspora. And then the person asks, okay, if you categorize us to be in a region, then what do you say about someone who is in Rwanda, some Liberians who are in South Africa, Liberians who are in South Sudan, or Somalia? How do you categorize them to be? So let me hear your perspective when it comes to this. The region,
Uh,
distinguishing the region from the diaspora,
mhm. All
right?
right.
What
So,
are the diaspora is what are the diaspora is formed within a region or the region is formed within the diaspora so that people don't get it mixed up. So that when someone say, "Oh, I'm a Liberian residing in Ghana," or "I'm a Liberian on a vacation in Ghana," you know,
mhm.
What message does it send? Does it send that that person is in a diaspora or that person is in a region?
All right. So I was actually giving a kind of contextual scenario, right? But there are terms that are used interchangeably, which is kind of wrong. They are exile and they are exile and diaspora. These are two
Okay.
terms that have two different contexts. So I think the term exile is also familiar with us. And
Okay.
yeah, and um, all of these words that you see people use to refer to people from different places based on your status of residence, they are all for legal matters. But when it comes to a perspective of where you are from, the moment you leave your home or your residence, moment you leave your home or your residence, you are in the diaspora. You are in a
Okay.
diaspora. That is how the context apply. It is not limited or it is not contextual to a region. And then for exile, exile is like for an example, if you leave your home and then you go out for like probably a specific purpose, like a specific, how do I say it? Yeah, something like that to accomplish a particular goal with the prospect of returning back home. So that you say you are in exile is a state that you are in. That is the status of a residence outside your home country is exile. But you are a diasporan because you are also contributing back to the economy of Liberia. So because I think these two words there is some confusion sometimes, and I hope that I'm not
Yeah, definitely.
causing more contradictions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, Mr. Gaga. It does. And that thing, I mean, it prompted a lot of, it prompted a huge argument between us. I can still remember. Yeah. And then we had to go back and forth when it comes to that. Okay. So the next question would be the money. How much is actually coming home from the Liberian perspective? How much is actually coming home? The money. Because yeah, before you answer the
Okay.
question, because yeah, Liberia, that the whole entire annual funds, right?
Mhm, mhm,
It estimate to hundred millions of dollars. All right,
mhm,
that are that are credit suggesting from different rivals, exceeding from different
mhm,
foreign direct investment as FDI and in some years, all right, and
mhm,
also the money flows through formal and informal channels from
mhm,
Western Union to MoneyGram to mobile money platforms. All right, and then also from the informal side, that was the formal side. The formal side are
mhm,
Western Union, MoneyGram, all mobile money platforms, right? And then for
mhm,
the
mhm,
informal side, you'll also be looking at the how do you call it, the networks, right? Including people physically carrying cash, all right?
mhm,
The transfer fees as well as they reach from 5 to 10%, all right, that also represent a huge significant loss to different family members. You and I here, right, a typical example of the Liberians that are following the show so they can understand from the perspective that I'm coming from. You are sending your fees in India and the fees is say $500, all right. That fees I send $500, somebody processing that fee for mobile money stuff on the side, right? It's sent to
mhm,
the person mobile money account. They'll give you the equivalent in Indian rupees.
mhm,
Gaga, you and I are aware that that money you're not gonna get the total 500. You will not even get 480. Sometimes it will take $20. The least it will take for the money will be 25. The least if they want to help you. Yeah,
mhm,
it will take $25 for the money or $30. So that has to do with the whole entire 5 to 10%. And also you have to understand that the diaspora function in different effects, right? And it also form the largest part of the the whole entire banking sector as it relates to the this sending of funds and also receiver of funds, because there are also diasporans that are doing businesses home, and that money,
mhm,
when extracted from the business, will be sent back to their account in those countries which they
mhm,
are from. Yeah.
mhm. Um, so now you have like you answered the question.
That was just a point. Yeah, but
Yeah,
let me hear your say towards it. I know you're not going to say it directly. I've alluded to. Yeah.
yeah, but uh, with with the contribution of the diasporan investment in Liberia, I think we cannot see much because when it comes to finance or anything that has to do with investment into our economy, it requires statistical accuracy. These are it's like the fulcrum of what you talk about when it comes to financial investment. And it's unfortunate that we do not have that statistical accuracy to try to discuss or probably give analysis in regards to the diaspora investment in Liberia. So if you look at the Liberian economy, you are only hearing it is as if that they are pushing a one window market to the Liberian people and they are leaving another window market closed, but in the back they are harvesting. Is in that kind of way where you don't hear about the diaspora Liberians. You don't know whether they are playing a major part within the Liberian economy. When you listen to the reports of the president, the fiscal annual report, or the uh, 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 you know they have the all different kinds of reports. I can't get my head around it right now, but right? The emphasis on diaspora investment is never talked about, is never mentioned enough. If it's talked about, it is given as an overview, as a head pass, something that is said so that it doesn't attract key criticism, if I would say, or it doesn't attract key applaud, even if they had it done. So the thing that I think that when you look at the Liberian economy, right, you are also studying outside Liberia, and India is not your first country to have traveled to. So for some of us, we have traveled to other places, and we have seen how life is like, or how is it to be treated as a foreigner, right? But again, when you look at remittances, this is just exactly what you're saying, right? Those are like remittances in the international banking system, where you have cash inflow, cash outflow internationally and around the world, right? But we have to compare the consumption and the production. Consumption versus the production. What what how much are the Liberians consuming as compared to how much are they producing, right? So let's take an instance. You have our relatives and our friends that are trying to help, you know, their families back home, right? But these same
Mhm.
people, they do not want to build they do not want to build business. And sometimes the reason they do not want to build business is not because it's not out of their or it's not out of any deliberate volition. It's not out of their choice, right? In that kind of way. But it is because of satisfaction. It is because of assurance that they have something to depend on. Like there is funds coming from outside. I don't have to work. And sometimes too they lack the productive capacity to multiply whatever resources they are receiving from outside. So they simply just want to be fed, right? Clothes, completely spoiled, and then you will send thousands of dollars to them, right? But the moment you observe that all of their funds are consumed, and then They are going to try and try again to keep baking again. So that is how it's like when you look at the consumption versus production. And right now we are having like a kind of revolutionizing force of the young people. Most of things, the older generation, they always try to complain that the young generation, we are weak, we are lazy. But for me, I believe that we are doing absolutely better. And then we are trying to revolutionize change in the concept of positivism. Yes, in the concept of independence and positivism, because all of these things they play a part. All right. And then the last part of that of the issue about the remittances, it has to do with subsidizing poverty in a country. When you are investing in Liberia, right? It is not as investing as the word investment is meant to be applied, right? What you are doing is that you are indirectly subsidizing the culture of dependency, like I said about, because there, the people in Liberia, or when you are in Liberia, you try to start up, you try to innovate sources of income, but the way the economy is shaped in a way, it is shaped in a way that you have to be very close to you have to have certain connections, you have to have certain pre-established resources for you to be able to obtain certain results. So when people try all of their weak ways to make money, to get finances, to make business, and they do not work, they give up. They are tired. They know that nothing works in Liberia. That's why you see most people they are striving to travel outside the country to try somewhere else, even though nowhere is like an established green pastures for people. But things can change, things can be different, right? So,
Mhm.
uh, that's those are like the two concepts I think under the issue about remittances. When you look at Liberia, let's compare the consumption versus the production rate. And then let's look at what actually happens when you send money back to Liberia. Whether is it that you are investing or you are subsidizing dependency, right? So the thing is, just because the country's economy is struggling, it does not necessarily mean that people will stop being lazy. That's one fact. Liberia is not bread and butter, but also you have people there that are lazy. That is how life is, and this is about reality, not about me saying something off my head, right? Also, there are people there who are furiously hungry for food, but they have no hunger for success. And there are people there that are actively working. They have all of the physical manpower, they have the labor effort to do the work, but no work is available. No connections are applied to them. Nothing of sort. So it's like we are in the rabbit hole and we are growing. We are growing till we can find the end of the tunnel and see the light.
Yeah, and I just like the way you're breaking it down from one end to another, and then one end to another. Like you said, the topic is a very huge one, but once we relate it to a liberal perspective, then it becomes a wholesome that we can now try to put our way through and see how best we can draw the best out of it. One way or the other, even though we are receiving funds here, but we are contributing to a Liberia back directly or indirectly. Yes.
Yeah,
You can see people here in India say, "Oh, we're not paying taxes." Well, yeah, no, you are paying indirect tax. The money you get to your landlord is the direct one, but the small ones are used to buy groceries and other stuff. Those are the indirect tax. For every 20 rupees, right, that you would take to buy a bottle of water, just me that bottle of water is supposed to be, I think it said 13 or 15 rupees. But if you add all the GST, CST, all the different taxes, when you add to it, that's why so much to that 20 rupees. Even a 10 lassi, the 10 rupees sweet lassi that you would drink, or that 10 rupee biscuit that you, even the salted peanut as well. Every other thing, right? You are paying indirect tax. So one way or the other, we are giving back to the Liberian society immensely, right? And I can also tell you what we are doing here. Also, we are also giving back. Right now, what we only said right now, we're also giving back. So, like I said, you give back directly and also indirectly. Yeah, so we go on our mark on the set. Thank you. Just type what you are following from in the comment section. Again, our host and the panelists had a very terrible internet issue. That's the reason why you see me here, because I know you guys will say, but wait, why is it that we saw Mr. Williams and Mr. Sando on the fly and then we are not seeing them here? We never wanted to disappoint our guest. Yeah, he's a brother and friend of mine. Whenever he called upon me to do certain things, I will also show up, and as well as he's also here with us today as guest. I don't want to postpone him. Yes, I don't want to postpone him, so we just have to do the set. All right. So Isabella Duncan, thank you for following. She said I'm following from Monrovia, Liberia. Thank you for following, and then also Bona Myers, Chief. Sorry if I mispronounce your name. I'm not good with people names, so please. Yeah, that's the reason why I go for faces more than for name. Yeah. So Bona Myers, thank you. I think you should be the CEO or manager for Myers TV. All right. Thank you for following. Say following closely from Durandam City. Thank you for following from Durandam. Um, Alaska Pay is following from Mount Bagley. Thank you, Alaska Pay, for following. Please don't be a ghost follower. If you're following a set, please show your following form. And if you have question, please leave it in the comment section. The guest will address it. Yes. So let's move forward to this next question, Mr. Gaga. This one says. Let me get to it here. Have my hand on it. Let's look at the cost of sending money. Let's look at the cost of sending money home through formal channels. Oh no, we have answered that question already. We have answered that question. The market. Okay. So now, here is the next question. If the Liberian diaspora organizes itself seriously, the way we have the Israeli and also the Indian diaspora has done in different parts of the world, right? What will you what will you think? What do you think that the Liberian diaspora will look like, and in what way, shape, and form that it will give credence to the country back home?
That that uh, mm, firstly, anything that unify once uh we have little parts coming together as a whole, it always result into something massive, into something productive. Um, it 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 could be for any reason, whether positively or negatively. So when you have group of guys coming up together, it's gonna yield massive result, whether it is for the negative reason or the positive one.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I think the Liberian diaspora coming together is an old-ish idea that has been, how do we say, that has been bedridden for far too long. And it's like, it's something that when you try to bring all together, Liberians staying outside, they feel too reluctant and not interested to be a part
Mm-hmm.
because people have already given up on themselves and their country. For an example, right? Let me give a typical example of how Liberians do not even want to attend the Bible Liberian. When you travel outside Liberia, especially in Europe or Asia, to some countries where there are little or no Africans, and you were fortunate to meet a fellow Liberian there. When you're just speaking to that person just passes. They don't even want to identify with you whether you're Liberian there or not, especially when you guys are not many. And that is striking surprise because I've experienced that a lot of times. It is really surprising, right? So Liberians coming together will really create a massive force that will compete with other West African countries. I tell you no lie. There are really a lot of brilliant Liberians that are making headways in the diaspora. that are not talked about, right? All right. So there are three unbending possibilities of profitability that we will have when Liberians come together in the diaspora. Number one, PR, the thing we call public relations. It is it is as overlooked and it looks less important, but it is very important. Your PR shapes the narratives of the public. So if you have a huge community, you people control the narratives of yourselves and your country in the diaspora and in the world at large. So if we, for an example, right, there are certain people that are doing well, certain Liberian investors, certain Liberian innovators that they have started their startup companies. You are never going to hear about them. You are never going to know about their success or their achievement, nothing as such. But the moment something bad happened, where you hear that probably the man was involved in a certain case that is maybe immoral or something, he's gonna blow. Those that is how the system is like, right? So uh the next one about that is that uniformity and one voice, right? When you have one voice, when the people that the government is serving, when they really stick to themselves, like they have one voice, the government is bound to listen. Because if you have majority of the population dictating or like suggesting to the government, like we need this change, we need to have these things, we need to have these things fixed, the government has no choice because if not, then they are going to get changed. And I believe that the Liberians in the diaspora, and one of the things you should know about is that Liberians in the diaspora, we might not have reached a million population yet. I'm not sure if we will reach half a million population yet, but majority, over 80% of our population are all students. And when I say student, I am referencing the fact that some of us we left Liberia on the purpose of studying outside. So these people they have already gotten trained in certain in their own unique professional fields, and then they have the technical knowledge, right? They already have the technical knowledge, the applicable weight to apply to resolve issues. When you have them coming up together, it creates an unbreakable force. The last one is success. Uniformity always use success. One of the things that I would like to bring to your attention is that what is difficult for Africans, not just like the rest, right? It is like genetic to Africans. What is difficult for Africans is uniting to succeed. They are going to unite, which is very easy for them, but for them to stay united till success is difficult. For an example, in Addis Ababa, right? I don't know whether you are there. Okay, they have the African Union headquarters in Addis Ababa. I think, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that particular building, it is the headquarters for all of the 54 states. I don't know whether it is 54 or 52. I'm not going history, civics, or geography. I'm just saying what I know. Yeah, my own of view is far different from this politics and things. Yeah. So it that particular African Union, it consists of all of the states that make Africa as a continent. Now, what happened was that during the foundational aspect of the particular headquarters in Addis Ababa, each African country, based on their capability, they were tasked to contribute certain amount to the development and the completion of that particular headquarters structures. You know what happened when the people try to collect that money or unite to build a thing? The plan failed.
Wow.
The plan failed massively. Imagine countries, leaders coming together, they are not able to contribute and just build a single building. The entire Africans leader. The current Addis Ababa headquarters right now. is it is fully sponsored by the Chinese government. Then those when I say sponsored, I mean the financial investment. Yeah. And then the structural layout, the designing, the implementation of the project fully done by the Chinese government. So the thing that the African's leaders should have built together through uniformity was later on completed by a foreign man from a foreign or from a different continent that has no business with them. So there you see that Liberians coming together is one thing, but for them to stick together is difficult. And I really believe that if we can achieve that thing, uh, there are a lot of things that play in between, right? The tendency that the man is inferior to his fellow man when he thinks that another man wants to overrise him, where
Mm-hmm.
the other man feels like he has to benefit something from everything. It's these thoughts they are all still in the minds of Liberians because they are poor, they are broke, they don't have money. Someone with financial freedom will never have the thought. Okay, for an example, Mr. Canning, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you now that you okay, for an example, if I call you today, Mr. Canning, I say, okay, Mr. Canning, I have a project on IT administration, man. I have my office in Monrovia. I'm calling you as a brother, right? I have my office in
Mm-hmm.
Monrovia, and then I need you to help me set up my office, the IT linking and everything. I am calling you firstly because I know what you are capable of doing. Secondly, because you are my brother, I understand that I will have closer relations with you and you'll be free with me for us to have that work done. And thirdly, I respect you. I'm not calling you on, I don't know how to say it. I don't know if say empty stomach or what, because I know that education is earned, right? But
Mm-hmm.
now,
Mm-hmm.
in another case, you be like, how much is the project? What my cost? These are the kind of things that run through your mind. The first thing is what my cost? I hope something going at dinner from you, man. There you see that. But if you're someone that have your own money, I shouldn't say because you won't have somebody else's money. But if you have financial freedom, you're not even gonna be thinking about money. It happens. Okay, for an example, someone who is always stressed with financial incapacity, when he doesn't have money, he's always hungry, right? The
Mm-hmm.
moment that man is given money, enough money, he doesn't want to eat anymore. He feels that his stomach is full. That is how, because there now, the lack of cash is his problem. It's
Mm-hmm.
not the lack of thought. It's not the lack of unity. Uniformity is not our problem. Every human being has weakness. The human heart is desperately wicked and evil. We all know that. And it's not only
Mm-hmm.
Africans, even the white man is also evil, right? But when it
Mm-hmm.
comes to financial incapacity, it's something that must really be addressed. And there are many global factors that are affecting Africans. So they are not really able to compete with other nationalities to append that issue of financial
Mm-hmm.
incapacity. So the forces they are as doubled as possible against us as compared to in favor of us. Even as that, we have our own liabilities, we have our own flaws that will hamper the possibility of us uniting to success. I think I think
Yeah,
that was I given us summary. Yeah.
yeah, definitely, definitely. Wow. So I gotta answer all of my questions that I have here. So let me just squeeze in this last one. All right. Where do you think they have the largest Liberian diasporan base? Foreign it. In terms of
The la
support,
mhm.
but that question answer is yes. But again, funny enough, again, what the question answer is funny enough, that side is very chaotic as well. The side that never takes support when it comes to entertainment. I mean, like, yeah, there is a lot of halu balu all over there. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, but well, actually, you have more Liberians in the USA than anywhere. I'm sure that yeah, I'm very sure of that. It's because
Yeah.
when you look at Liberian, majority of Liberians they are easy to be complacent. They are easy to get complacent, and sometimes complacency can be misunderstood for contentment, which are two different things, right? So
Mhm.
Liberians, the moment they visit somewhere better than where they come from, the moment the moment they have been pushed into an environment that that gives them more privileges, more opportunities to excel. They get complacent there. They have no pressure. So, like parents for us, we have been molded. Our nervous system has been molded to only yield results under intense pressure. That is why the librarian's typical student will not do his assignment except one night to the deadline. He will not study except he have an exam the next day, or if he give him a task, he will obviously not do until he sees a missed call about that. So majority of us we are like that from Liberia, and even me here speaking because it's like
Yeah,
we are
definitely.
used to pressure. So whenever you have that kind of lack of pressure or something that feels like you have little pressure, we tend to relax because we try to enjoy life according to us. But life is always that way, and and there is also one thing that I think Liberians in the diaspora really need to understand. You see, the architecture of investment, right? For those of us that are outside, mm, you cannot be a diasporan and be looking to exploit from Liberian. That is really evil. Many people do that because they think that, all right, we have all suffered, I've suffered, I'm tired, I will do anything to get myself out of this mess. That is what most people think. But when you are carrying out diaspora investment, it is not exploitation, right? It is not only your transfer of system, it is not your transfer of technology, it's also your discipline. So if you are building systems, you are building networks in Liberia, try to instill these different disciplines that you may have acquired through learning systems in the diaspora. That is, these are the things, these are the beauties of cultural diversity. It's not only about, okay, I'm going to a kind of locked culture or locked society. Like, it's not a locked society. You have people from different cultures that are there, and then they are living, they are enjoying life as it may. But you have to do something. You have to be a part of something. You have to have a purpose. One of my personal philosophy is that as a man, always have a reason, always have a goal, always be a part of something. That is why I am not used to being the bench warmer. If I go
Mhm.
anywhere, I want to be part of something. I want to contribute because that is the only way I'm able to learn. I'm not able to learn with someone standing on the board and telling me write A, write B. No, I'm only capable of learning efficiently by doing. So, so sometimes people ask and say, okay, Kadra, you started these things. How far now? How this and that now? Why are you doing this now? This and that. And the point there is that if you start something as an investor and then it fails, you're not the first person to fail. So you have to keep doing it. You have to try. You have to see what made you fail, work on it, improve it, and then start again, which is what we do. So when we are leaving the diaspora and returning back to Liberia, we need to return with that kind of sheer willpower, right? There you are going to enforce order anywhere there is chaos, enforce order. And and I know, you know, sometimes the people there who are receiving you is another problem there too. That because the people there who are receiving you at most times they sometimes becomes envious when you try to overdo. Yeah, because the tendency of the man, they are like, okay, who is this guy? Where he's coming from? Where he want to? Where he want to show? So, life itself, we have to be careful. But that willpower to always instill discipline and do what is right and just is something that we must always strive for, right? Because the destruction of our national potential will continuously, I don't know how to emphasize on it. Will continuously move on ever and ever, forever and ever, over and over. Any other emphasis you will made or add to that, right? Because these things will keep happening as long as our people we actively build system based on uh this person was not here first, so he cannot be given this thing. That is how our political system is. Our political and social systems are designed. They are designed based on, okay, you have been here for 5 years, so okay, you are better than the person who is just coming, even though this person knows it better and have better experience. These are forces that are affecting the actual sheer willpower of Liberian, the diaspora Liberian university and back in the country. So I think somebody will say we should stop funding. We cannot stop funding. It's not a solution. It's a harm. But again, we have to invest in the minority. We have to invest in the sector, and with for us that are outside Liberia and that are involved into tech. Okay, I visited Liberia sometimes February in February, right? The freedom we have in India where we can leave our mobile data on, and then 2 GB is able to take you for
Mhm.
some not 2 3 days because you are not always on the phone. Yeah, for me, I'm not always on the phone, right? Liberia is not like that.
Mhm.
Me, who cannot even watch movie, I'm not able to watch one complete episode properly. I'm buying 6 gigs of data, 10 gig per day. Why? So, you know, it was a little bit strange, right? But again, it did not feel like I'm home because the tendency of visiting home is to get rest, is to get freedom, is to get pressure
Mhm.
removed off you. But again, when we return home again, we have a lot of pressure to impress people who we are better than. We have a lot of pressure again to prove ourselves to people who we are capable of outperforming. So I think most Liberian like what you said, one of the solutions to these things is that Liberians in the diaspora unite as one, get recognized by the Liberian government, and let Liberians in the diaspora
Mhm.
have a voice to the Liberian economy. When I say have a voice, it's not only about criticizing because I know that's what most politicians think. But when I say have a voice and have a say, I mean that they have actual investment ongoing there. When it's investment, it's not only
Mhm.
about building houses, building bridges, but it will be it will be education. Human resource investment is
Mhm.
something that is very much undervalued in Liberia, and we must not leave it as it is. We must try to improve it over and over, over and over. So the diaspora Liberians, we have a lot of gaps that we can contribute to by filling it up. We have a lot of potentials. We have a lot of orders that we can enforce into the Liberian economy. And I think the only thing that we need to do is to unite because yeah. and really to unite, right? That would be very good because when all my time as a Liberian, when I was growing up, I was really good at mathematics, and most of the girls that I knew, they were not good. So I had this kind of stereotypical build up that girls or Liberian girls are not good at math, right? But when you leave Liberia and you come outside, and then you see Liberian girls that are taking masters in applied mathematics and software engineering that can actually write code, that can speak with computer. You are surprised. You are just sitting and looking at them and you're wondering, who is this person? Where is this person
Or do we
from?
have them? Do we have them? I've never come across a Liberian. I'm not saying a Liberian girl that doing IT or typical Liberian girl that doing IT. That one I one thing. But meeting a Liberian girl that can challenge your guy when it comes to IT in the diaspora, especially in
Oh,
India. I was student there in India.
no,
I've
no, no,
seen.
no, I'm not. No, no, no. India is different. In India is a place. India usually gives people contentment, right? Complacency because they have less pressure. I have met people that know theoretical and applicable mathematics, and then the girl is doing master of mathematics, and she can like
Wow.
I was on a project, and then I sent a course in because at the time there I never knew how to use AI, API, and all of those things. Meaning, oh, you don't
Mhm.
have money to buy AI subscription thing. So
Yeah,
I just yeah, I wrote the code, and then all of the push that I was making to the GitHub repository, I just on a commit message, I just wrote their coffee. That is how I can commit most of my messages. So they get went to the project manager, that it is very irresponsible for software developer to write. I know these things, so but like there is no one there to tell me what I'm wrong because I'm the best. So they can look at the code. She had a real factor then. She is explaining in everything she did. She gave documentation for all. And then when I go do background check, I go ask the girl is doing master in applied mathematics and she's young, 23 years old.
yeah, very young.
I don't want to call her name so that it doesn't feel like I'm gossiping her or in public, but she's gonna hear about this and maybe she'll come and not share. But she's very brilliant, and it was not only the first person I met. There are other Liberians in their respective fields that are excelling greatly. And when these females are at their peak, the only thing they think about is to help Liberia. Some of them are
Hmm.
based in Liberia. Females they are sometimes overly emotional. They want to go back home. They are missing their parents, their family. So there you see the potential they have. The Liberians really do, but the diaspora is not given a chance to. Even though the diaspora is, when you look, it's not actual investment to me. Let me just close with this, right? The foreign diaspora investment is not an investment at all. It is like they have built a culture where you have to take, once you travel outside like Europe today, people think that you have already made it in life, you have succeeded, and then they expect you to start selling phones back, right? It happens to many people, right? So that has been a long-ish thought, long-ish thinking, long-ish stereotype. So once you leave Liberia, you have to put yourself under pressure to make funds and send it back. It's typically like you are working for the economy, you are working for the family, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So that is not investment, that is hand to mouth. Chicken police, egg, I know say chicken put a egg, eat it in a lateral common saying, right? But if we have investment where Liberians outside Liberia, we are building companies in Liberia where we are employing over 1,000 youths. We are employing 500, youths. Do you know how many percentage you have reduced joblessness in Liberia? That is what we call diaspora investment, right? And that factor there is strong because it's not only about building companies, but schooling. I don't, for me, I'm not emphasizing on humanitarian because charitable funding is not investment at all, right? We must understand investment means you plant your seed, you plant your corn, and you plant one corn seed, and you're able to get 100 corn seed out. You plant one plum seed, you're able to get a plum tree yielding you plum fruits. That is what investment is. So once you have an investor coming to Liberia, he is creating jobs for the economy. At the same time, he's earning, he is safe, he feels secure in his own home country. So far, I think I will stop here to accommodate the last questions.
Yeah, quickly, this last one, I don't know, but I attended the Aussie mini convention. As part of that, it's part of my TUR as the co-chair of the IMC
Mm,
yesterday, and the faces of the president and then the speaker, and also the secretary general, and as well as the superintendent for Punjab, the Liberian students in
mm,
Punjab, as well as Greater Noida, and the president for the Greater Noida. They all seems, sad because I was the one who was doing the photos, the capturing of moments and all that stuff. So when I noticed that, what I did was after the program, I reached out to them. I'd start to comfort them. I told them, I said, gentlemen, Madam President, and the rest, I just want to share this with you guys. It's gonna take time for Liberians to get used to this set of program, so we have to be patient with them. All
yeah,
in time out, you barely see Liberians taking these initiatives as something as very good. When you try to do it, they'll try to label, put you in some kind of box, they will label you, but Jimmy,
yeah,
men are too serious, get are too serious. You can't go around, you can't go around. You adding that, he not
yeah,
going to face the whole entire world. These are the kind of labels they will start putting on you. Alright? So we have to understand how people will take time to get used to these things. And it's not the dispensation of Liberians right now that will get used to that kind of a thing. That the dispensation after us, those that are mourning after us, if care not taken, they will even be worse than us. Because for them now, their attention span is very short. They have the shortest attention span that you can ever think about. They don't have patience like us. For us, it's not bad, but for them, it can be worse because they don't have patience like us. Their attention span is very short. You and I need to sit down and use Microsoft PowerPoint to pull and sit down for hours pull presentation together or minutes pull presentation together. Nowadays, they can just use ChatGPT or Claude AI or any other open AI platform to just generate that PPT, pull their name, their details, everything on it. Boom, they submit it to the teacher. Bam, 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 bam. They get it max. So they are gonna get they're gonna get worse than this, or you're gonna get what better than this. However, let us embrace it and let us leave room for encouragement and improvement. Those are my words to them. Let us leave room for encouragement and improvement. We shouldn't be sad that the hall was not filled. Even if you have the program in Punjab, you're gonna be worse than this. Because if you're not bringing football activity to the people in Punjab, you're not bringing musician coming, passing Mokopara coming, all the other one, King Dennis, what other one, Brixing, who name it. Alright? If you're bringing them, trust me, then the whole entire place, watering here and there. As the saying goes, India already have their own stress. Let's talk about let's talk about when you try to add activities and of such there. So we that were from Punjab were very few, and I could see the expression on the leaders' faces. All right, I could see the expression on the leaders' faces. We should have done post analysis when it comes to our entire convention team today, but I arrived in Punjab at 3 a.m. I was very tired. I told my whole I didn't even go for Palm service or Palm Sunday service. I didn't even go because I was very tired. I had to rest. And
yeah,
again, while resting too, again, the host called me and said, "Oh, I couldn't make it. I didn't want to postpone you." So I said, "Okay, but let's just run a show, all right." Since the issue have been a burning issue with me, so let me just join Mr. Kaka so that we can have it. So I also want to know from your end, right? Why is it that
mhm,
Liberians will dwell more on entertainment, something that based with entertainment more than formal programs? Only in the country, and that formal program, the reason why you get those that like entertainment going for that formal program is because they say they get food there, quote unquote, in Korean I would say bossy. Because they say they get bossy there. So they can eat. Alright. That's the only reason why. Or my friend say the thing will be fun, so let's go there. That land they give you. That area. And a few people that were in our Aussie convention hall yesterday, Gaga. My man, the thing I'm telling you. I saw faces that I can tell that that phrase that they gave, my friend said they didn't find, let's just go there. Some of them were there. Because there were faces. There were faces that don't embrace
Mhm.
those things. But I saw them there. And when I saw them there, I saw the expression on them. I was like, "Oh, wait, why you force yourself to come here? Oh, you know you will not be happy." So I just threw words of encouragement to the general secretary as well as the president, speaker, and the rest. So I just want to get a thought on it, and then from there you can just do your closing. We'll call it a night.
Yeah, I think um when you look at it, Liberians, they have like a void within themselves that they are looking for something to use and distract against. Many Liberians, they don't have inner peace. If you see a Liberian girl or Liberian boy, just reach out to them, try them. You see them, they outburst in anger. You tell them, no, they've been announced to me, oh. They've been out, they've been already frustrated. Oh. So one way or the other, they have stress on their mind. And the only thing they are looking for, either they are looking for something that gives them temporary pleasure or something that gives them something like their solution. Because for you to get solution to these things, it requires time, it requires effort, it requires thorough build process. So that's why they use entertainment. Entertainment is business everywhere in Europe, in Asia, in the United States, right? But you can see that everywhere we have different priorities, right? But you can still attend the entertainment series, attend the entertainment programs, and still attend the formal ones. They are not like enemies of each other. But for us, it's quite difficult because the people seem like the formal things do not seem to benefit them, so they are more mostly interested in what will benefit them, and that knowledge about benefiting them is actually subjective, and that their entire subjectivity is based on a kind of corrupted knowledge because if you don't know what can make you happy, then you might never get happy. If you don't know what you want in life, you might never ask, right? So that is how life is. They have like a kind of empty void in themselves that they always use these stuff to distract themselves. At the end of the day, they go home, they don't have peace, they don't have these things, and they are not willing to get it fixed because the process to do these things it requires effort and requires dedication. But I hope so. I think at least now things are changing. Except for the fact that some Liberians feel like if it's not them, then they are not going to be a part. I think so far, Liberians really want
Yeah,
to
yeah,
be the
yeah,
one
yeah.
taking
That
charge.
that syndrome is a very bad one. Honestly, that syndrome
And
is a bad one.
if they are not in the clique or the cohort of that person, or if that person is not a close friend, then they cannot support that person. So basically, that is how life is like here so far.
Definitely. Yeah, Mr. Gaga, thank you so much for accepting our invite to be here. We look forward again to one of these brilliant days that you can come again. We have the weekly dose on Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. India Standard Time. That will be about 1 p.m. Liberia time. And then we have Premier's Talk, which you are currently on. And then we have the how do you call it? Bigger picture in time to come as well. And we also have Premier Exclusive, that is exclusive interview where we bring in people asking questions. And we also have Explore Premier Podcast. I think you see our brother and friend Joel T. Walker. I mean that video. I mean that podcast is one of the I don't know top notch podcasts I've ever done in a very long time. Yes, and the video have been edited everything to be released later this week. So you can stay tuned for that. And I would also love to have you on per your schedule for our next episode. The recording is done in person, but we'll discuss that off the show. Yeah, I'm just putting you up to speed. The recording is done in person so that when you see it, you probably you may think that we're doing it through stream, yeah, or restream something, but it's done in person. Yeah, so look forward to talking to you, asking you the questions as it relates to your field, and then we can see how best we can work around that. Thank you for always supporting Premier's platform. And again, they say what in the union success is show. So we have to to show strength out there. The diaspora and
Yeah,
Liberian is more than you just sending the 1 cent, 2 cent back home. And I can always
yeah.
tell people at this stage of my life, if I can't give you money, the best I can do for you is moral support.
Mhm.
Yes, if I can't give you the financial help, I always tell people the best I can do for you is the moral support. So please accept that. All right. Thank you again, Mr. Kagard, for taking up your time. You should have been in bed, but now sleeping to see how best you can wake up tomorrow for a very fresh start. But you're here with us. The time check in India, folks, is 1:20 a.m. So how much sacrifice that we can make to make the set successful. So again, thank you, and I will just stop here for you to do your closing.
All right, thank you. I think it was a brilliant topic, and I appreciate the sincerity, the probably the choice for me to get invited here and share my understanding about
Yeah.
the Liberian diaspora investment. Yeah, and yeah, for sure, everything was good, and at least we were not so pressing for the fact that I'm not an economist or policy maker as others might see it, but I think again everything was good, and I hope so that the Liberians in the diaspora can come together and unite for one cause or for a single purpose, and then probably we will start from there before we can expand on net of every other thing that matters to the Liberians in the diaspora and the Liberian economy as a whole. So far, I think I also want to thank the audience for following and joining us tonight. So also thank you for the invite again. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, sure. One of those days we'll bring Mr. Kagara out and then we'll bring somebody from the mathematical field. Don't bring me because I will score zero on bar. When it comes to mathematics, I mean that's zero. Yeah, but it was a good one. It was a good one. Like again, honestly, we have another exclusive interview, but we look forward to that being a weekly dose. And sorry, not weekly dose. We look forward to that being the Explore Premiere podcast. All right, the EPP. All right, so look forward to having on the EP, that is Explore Premiere, and then we'll see how it moves on from there. That is us having conversation with Mr. Gagad in person through our pre-recorded tape that will be edited well, and then we'll post it, yes, on our socials. So right now, Mr. Gagad is in different city, and I'm in different city. We are communicating visually, but for the EPP, we'll be meeting physically. So all the questions you want to ask Mr. Gaga, if you can send it in my inbox when I meet him, trust me, they're gonna be loaded. I'll just be sending it out there, and he will provide a question. He's one person that's never shy away from questions. He will always, even if you don't have idea, he will tell you that, Chief, that way I can stop. Yeah, he's one of those person too as well that when you call a point anytime, he always show up. All right. So thank you again, Mr. Gaga, and we just want to say thank you for accepting the invite for being here with us. And folks, thank you for being with us. If you're in India, we want to say happy Sunday to you. Happy Palm Sunday. Holy Week starts. Holy Week start again. Holy Week starts tomorrow. Yes, Holy Week start tomorrow. Let's keep the week holy, please. Don't wake up in the morning and start. You don't want, you don't want, you know. Yeah, let's keep the week holy. And we have Good Friday. We have Monday, Thursday, and then we have Good Friday, and then we have Easter Sunday. Yes, we have Easter Sunday. So the whole entire Holy Week, please keep it holy and try as much as possible to talk to a friend, you talk to a friend, that Jesus loved them the best. And as always, Premier's got your back, your online hub for meaningful content. I serve as a host, Renin Rishtu Kanin. Yes, Rennie K for short. Or you just say Rennie. To make it very short again, you say Ren. Very, very short, you say R. Yeah. So thank you for following. Thank you for being with us. And the next time you hear my voice will be on the weekly dose. Thank you and thank you and thank you and thank you.